All right, so I mean, this is a recurring problem. So I often find people are unsure whether they should do something that's generally falls under a constructive idea or not, whether they should abandon an ongoing project or not, and stuff. Often has to do with because they're thinking about how somebody else feels about it. Um, Not everything people. I mean, I'm going to start this off with saying that not everything that people feel bad about is going to actually hurt them and stuff. There's a difference between an incidental feeling and a feeling that's going to devastate somebody because you're actually doing something that's really not acceptable to do. Um, just things that are just too offensive and stuff, like going into the area of theft, conversion, assault, whatever, you know, or things that are just incredibly dirty and stuff, like wrongfully terminating somebody at work or whatever. So that would be past the line and stuff. And as an analogy, I'm going to use a board game I created, and it's called well, it's tentatively called this stuff. Haven't played it in a while though. So in this game, you have all kinds of pieces with many types of squares. I mean, all pieces with many types of movement squares and how it's shaped, and so, so many. There's way more continuations than pretty much any other board game and stuff. Go, chess. This is just this is the absolute. Um, I mean, this is pretty much as complicated of a game as you can make in this game engine and stuff. Um, and this is a good analogy for life here and stuff. So if with this, you have to be very focused in your priorities and stuff because this is, you know, on par with the complexity of, life and the wider circumstance because you have all these people and they do all this different type of stuff, all these different type of things and stuff. Um, you, no mastery of Brownian motion or Markov chains is really going to get you an efficient solution to anything. So how, for some reason, this engine's not letting me do anything. Anyway, so if you're additionally considering how other people feel in your decisions, like how other people just incidentally feel in their opinions and stuff, all you're doing is just distracting yourself more. You just made this game that's incredibly hard even harder and stuff. You've wildly missed the point and stuff because you're in this huge complicated thing and stuff, and there's all these things you have to do, and I didn't really make this turn based, but there's all these wild thing, complicated, all these wildly complicated things you have to do, um, and there's all this complicated stuff going on. So you naturally just um, so your mind not necessarily know what to do and stuff. But if you're going to listen to what a person says, then you miss the point, because you really have to um, you really still have to keep your priorities in mind the whole time. And the more priorities you add and stuff, the less effective you are in any specific, line of action and stuff. Because the chance that that line of action is going to meet multiple priorities is going to lower and lower and stuff with all this material and stuff, which kind of touches on how the game here represents life. Um, there's, there's a lot of random chaotic stuff can happen in life, and um, a lot of random chaotic stuff can happen in life, and there's a lot of things going on, a lot of things that could happen and stuff. And if somebody's going to say something to make you less effective at what you're doing and stuff, that person is harming you. And you have to address that and stuff because you might do this and that and stuff, but in the end, if you lose, if if your life is effectively over, then you know, you didn't really help anybody and stuff. You're not putting yourself in a position to live your purpose at all. You've actually made yourself perform dramatically worse as a player, as something that's a part of this, wider picture of events going on, and you just, you cutting yourself out too much. So this is why you have to strike a balance. You have to kind of like strike a deal between how you're going to um, do good things for the world around you, your loved ones, whatever altruistic thing you do, and how you look after yourself. If you can make how you look after how you do things for yourself into how you help others, then that's a pretty good way to do it and stuff. Um, a person who is, I'm not going to say selfish, but a person who is greedy and stuff, um, a person who's zero sum is going to be taking at the cost of others and stuff, and that's uh, um, that is an averse action and stuff. It's not necessarily evil and stuff because, well, frankly, some people deserve it, but it is an averse action, and um, so but if you're going to, like, spend so much time and energy for other people and stuff, then you're really giving yourself a bad deal and stuff. You are you know um, you're basically in a losing line of play. And yeah, this engine is totally broken. It's not going. Um, it doesn't actually, like, no matter. I don't know when I made this, it wasn't allowing actual, like, proper turn-based play and stuff. No matter what I did. Anyway, so this analogy is over and stuff. I was making pieces move to as an analogy for life and stuff. So, and this video is long enough, so there's no reason to keep it going.